Hey everybody, welcome back to the K2N Online Paddle School. We are back here on YouTube, and this week we're looking at the timing of using your legs, using your hips, and ultimately trying to connect that into powering your hands throughout the paddle stroke. The trickiest part about human anatomy and human movement in a sports science way is that a joint moving by itself does not paint the whole picture in what we are trying to achieve with performance-oriented movement. Our joints and our muscles are more mobile than we give them credit for. This means that because there is so much mobility in the human anatomy, that you can move a joint and it doesn't automatically influence the next joint. So when we look at the kinetic chain, ideally what we're looking for is when my leg moves, my hips move, my shoulders move, and I do this effect here. That being said, if I extend my right leg, that doesn't mean that my body is going to move at all. So there is a fluidity where the joints are moving in unison, and they are also pushing into each other. So the effect of extending my right leg to turn my body like this, or extending my right leg to do nothing in a paddle stroke scenario is the key that we are trying to make a distinguishment on. So many paddlers are moving their legs because they're trying to bicycle them, but they're not engaging their hips at all. Or paddlers are moving their hips, but ultimately their hands aren't moving through space. So if you're demonstrating movement and your leg moves, but your hand and ultimately your paddle doesn't move, there is some disconnect somewhere in the body. And all roads lead to arm paddling. So if my legs and my hips and my shoulders are not powering a paddle stroke with its movement, that means the only way I can get through my paddle stroke is my arms moving by themselves. So we have this conundrum where paddlers are moving their legs, but it's not connecting to moving their hands. So as they complete paddle strokes, it's just arm paddling with a couple of extra steps. And the real goal that we're looking for is every millimeter that my legs and hips move yields movement with my hands going through space. The same idea between Outrigger, Canoe, and Surfskis is making sure that we're powering our hands with our hips. So in a sense, it's easiest to be very stiff. This way, when we do move one joint, the other muscles are tight enough that they push off of each other. If I'm too loose, now I can move my joints all over the place, and it means that my hands aren't going to move at all. But if I have this base level of rigidness within my muscles, when I move, everything starts to move with it. So when you're practicing this, having muscles that are really tight and squeezing them may be the difference in helping you connect leg movement into hand movement, because again, if the muscles relax, we don't get the same effect. Ultimately, you just want the muscles tight enough to help connect that energy. So right here, I'm not really squeezing my muscles that tightly, but if I was trying to learn, it might be beneficial to squeeze my abdomen incredibly tight in order to try and help that hip connect to the spine and connect to the rest of the body. And there's a checks and balance that we're looking for here. If you are moving your lower body and your hands do not move through space and feel very strong through the movement, it means there's a disconnect somewhere, and it's time to slow down, assess where this breakdown in the energy connection is at, and try to fix it. It can occur at any of these joints that we're trying to move. It can occur at the legs or the hips or somewhere in the spine or in the shoulder joints or at the elbows. Wherever it is, having that disconnect within your motion is going to highly limit your ability to connect with the water with your whole body. And this is also true for practicing. If you are practicing and you are able to extend a leg out and move your hip and your paddle or your hand doesn't move at all, you are drilling in muscle memory that is not useful to you. You need a very distinctive, when the legs move, the hands start to move. So figuring out this rigidness is very important in order to connect the lower body to the upper body and turbocharge your hands. Now there is a sequencing and a timing that goes into connecting this into the water. Somewhere between the recovery and initiating your catch, where your hands are going to move independently of your hip motion. So if my hands were moving with my hips, you can see that they're gonna swivel back and forth as my legs move. There's a moment where I push my hips forward and they can't go any further forward, and I have to set up my hands independently of the rest of my body. This gives me positive blade angle and a nice reach on the water. Now, as the blade tip engages the water, I want everything to become rigid again. I want it all to become one motion at this point. And as I go through the rest of the stroke, my legs are moving, my shoulders are moving, and all of that is powering my hands as I complete this paddle stroke. But somewhere in this recovery, my hips alone don't set up the stroke. My arms have to set up the stroke by themselves. And this is where we start to lose some paddlers. It's easy to be rigid all of the time, and it's also easy to be super loose all of the time. But there's a moment where we're interacting with the water and we want that rigidness to connect power, but there's also a fluidity, especially on the recovery phase, where we want to try to set up the next stroke, move and set everything up, and the joints will start moving independent of each other again. The reason that we're allowed to do this is as we interact in the air, there's no resistance. So we're able to kind of move our body freely to morph into the positions and angles that we're looking for. When we interact with the water, we are now met with an infinite amount of resistance based on our strength. And when we meet this resistance, we have to be strong. We have to be ready to use our whole body to try and push into it as hard as we can. And it's the same idea with the kayak. As we complete the stroke, we're staying nice and rigid from the catch to the exit. Everything is starting to move in unison with each other with this inherent tightness in the body. But now as I exit, my hands have to drift up and my legs don't really need to move anymore because they're already set up for the next stroke. So going from my exit phase to starting the next stroke is just my arms repositioning themselves independent of the body. Then I can take that next stroke and find that rigidness. It's like a light switch going on and off, right? We have a tightness when it's ready to go, and then we have a looseness when we are in the air. And being able to identify this and travel between both helps manage your energy as well as manage your body effectively. Excellent. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Just remember, when your legs are moving, your whole body is moving. If your legs move, your body doesn't move, you're missing the most valuable component in connecting leg drive into a strong stroke. If you need any additional help with your technique and you want to work with a coach directly, check out the K2NOnlinePaddleSchool.com today. We have a full video library full of off-the-water exercises as well as drills. You can work directly with me and I will write you up training plans, do video reviews, and anything else that helps you continue to progress and learn. A big shout out to all of our YouTube members, and their names are going to appear here. It's a big help to the channel and helping it to continue and grow, and you get to watch these videos almost a full month early. So signing up gives you a small perk, but it helps us out in a big way. If you would like to come to Hernando, Florida and paddle with me directly, or if you would like me to come to your area and coach your friends, a small group, or doing a full-size clinic for a club, feel free to reach out anytime. Contact information is found in the description box of the video. Thank you all so much for checking out the video, and we'll see you all next week for the next paddle tip video.